Dummy Switch Pod.
Yes,
Most
sir. Yes,
flagrant
sir.
rugby takes, those controversial takes. How are you, Chris?
I'm excited, Corders. How's it going, man?
Good myself. Just a reminder,
Uh,
we're on Spotify now, we're on Apple Podcasts.
mhm.
So guys,
Yeah,
you can listen
please.
to us there. You can listen to us
Yeah.
talk this rugby. Exciting. Exciting. Although,
Yeah.
congratulations to New Zealand. They've
Yeah.
it's in the bag.
Virtually, it's
Not
in the
virtually,
bag.
it's in the bag.
Hey, look, it's sports still, so we must still just be, I guess I'm going the more, cautious route. But like you say, it's in the bag, so
We must
yeah, and
pretend like it's still alive. You know how they always show
it,
during the game, last 10 minutes, they're
yeah,
writing the name. But we know the trophy, it's not in South Africa. The
yeah.
trophy is that side.
It's that side in New Zealand, but yeah, that's what it is. But for now, I think with the box, it's bigger fish to focus on, in terms of their own preparation and their
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah, and it's
Because they're gonna
it's
see New
big.
Zealand again.
Yeah, we're gonna meet them in front. We'll meet them in
Mm.
front. But alas, news of the day. It's always big news. It's always a stir lineups. Um, a lot of it was expected. I don't know how you feeling about it. For me, biggest omission is Hendricks. I would have thought he would have been given a run. I don't know. Should we take it top down? Start up front.
Yeah, I think like up front, more or less is what we expected. Even it's a bit starting there. I think maybe Ori, yeah, he deserves a start. And I mean, you can see the silky touches in terms of the line out and controlling the line out, from five. So you see that value there. And I can understand why RG would be on the bench. I called for maybe a different combination, but I'm still
Yeah.
happy with that. The loose trio, I think, strong, and I think so far in these three
Before we get
games,
even there, I'm just happy. I'm happy Marks gets a start. There's been the narrative that
yeah,
the best hooker is always on the bench, so on and so forth. Bomb squad this, bomb squad that. Marks deserves to start. Bongi's out of
mm,
form. I'm just
yeah,
happy that it's turned out this way.
yeah.
Um, to me, the same goes for Lut and Kwaka. Ori and Van Staden
Mm.
just got rewarded for what they showed against Australia. But for me, Lut, not impressive. Kwaka, he took too long to get involved.
To get in the game, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he gets a second chance this time around. Of course, different opposition and coming off the bench. So
Yeah, but that's where he must be. That's where he must be.
So look, I think I think he can have a better impact there in coming from the bench. But
Like
for me,
Willemse, that's where he must be on the bench. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it further along. But that's where he must be on the bench covering.
yeah.
You know, just like
Covering
Kwaka
for
is going to
just
be on the bench covering.
yeah, look, you can't argue against that. But strong pack, very, I think, strongest pack yet, and so far in this rugby championship series, I think, yeah, you can't really complain about it. And I think what makes it stronger is it's a bit coming in there, because basically the same pack almost that played Australia.
But that's the
Um,
thing. I
and
think what they've rewarded on form.
mm,
Particularly Ori and Van
mm.
Staden in terms of the newer guys.
Yeah, and it's
I would say,
test match,
yeah.
to say you had
So
a test match, you
even
had a test match. So yeah.
Peter Steph, even I think he came on against New Zealand and did more of an impact than what Mostert did.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
even Dwayne Visser, New Zealand game wasn't his game. So
Yeah, it wasn't.
that's what's making me hopeful about this game is that it looks like the guys that have performed have been rewarded.
Yeah. I think more than anything for me, you just want to see them going, especially into the World Cup, more settled on the guys that are performing or that should perform. I mean, we can only go chopping and changing for so long. We need to find the guys. That these guys on any given day they're going to do what they do because they do what they do.
You find your squad and then you find who's on form.
Yeah, and say, okay, right, these are my guys. And it's okay. So some guys they're also getting lost chances, I think, or lost look-ins maybe. Although there's still a few more warm-up games to go, but yeah, it's going down that direction, I believe.
Yeah, then looking at the backline, biggest surprise for me, as I said, Hendricks, he's available again. You wouldn't say Williams starting is okay. I would have thought Hendricks would have been thrown straight into the starts, but given that he's not, Williams is not surprising that they're giving him a go.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that because I mean, this is a must-win game, for the Springboks. It's you're at home, it's your last game at home, and you need to find your momentum, and you want to see a bit more of a few guys, and there's no better chance now to give Grant Williams a start. I think and to see what he can do. Hendricks, I think he starts as well, so we already know what he can do. That's why we're even talking about it to say, why he's not there. Let's see what Williams can do because he's in a shootout as well. He's also in a shootout. I think not necessarily, but just to see how he would go starting in a game because if something happens in the World Cup, he needs to start and how he builds into a test match. So that'll be interesting to see. And I'm okay with that, really, and I'm okay.
And this is his chance. This is his chance to check into that flight. This is the chance to circle their dietary restrictions. Is he vegetarian or is he on the flight? It's his chance to Another guy coming in is Lebok. Films are out. If we're talking again, it's the same thing that happened with a lot of the forward players where it's like the better of the two matches gets rewarded.
Yeah. And also the guy that's been playing fly off all season, let him play fly off,
Yeah. For the same team.
Exactly. They're in the same team, so what's changed now if they're in the Springboks now, so just let him play, then Willemse can cover, as he is now, because Vili's experience is showing that it's vital, and so Willemse can cover there 15, 12, he can even cover 10. So I think in terms of, yes, there's a lot of what we'd like to see, but at the moment he's not quite there, where he's the one that's, he's holding the magic wand and he's got people scared. Right now, Manny's the guy, I think worldwide, they know he's a threat. You give him a small gap, that acceleration through the gap, he can take you. He's developing that confidence in the passing game at test level. He's kicking. He'll get better in terms of kicking out of hand. I just think give him more time in the seat. Because if shit hits the fan, excuse my language, you're gonna need him there. So give him the keys. Let him drive. Get used to driving. And I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think he also gives that imagination that's needed to break an Argentinian defense. Again, form selection, Arendse in for my Pimpy. Yeah. My Pimpy it's been hot for him on these Twitter streets. My Pimpy, just switch off your phone. My Pimpy needs one of those old school phones that it just takes SMSs and calls because he mustn't read what people are saying about him.
Yeah, but I think also, I think they're being a little bit too harsh, in the sense that if you watch that game against New Zealand, I felt that he was doing more work off the ball, because he was even popping up on the right wing. He was getting involved. He was trying to do something. So, just as, for example, remember, there was a time where Habana lost form and, they still backed him, as the guy. Okay, different players, different athletes, but all I'm saying is that I think he's done enough to warrant, to still hold on to his position and, because
it's not that he's playing badly. It's not that he's playing badly. It's just that Arendse is playing his form right now is
the magic.
Yeah,
the magic. I think that's the thing, is that it's the magic. It's that thing of Arendse makes the box even that more unpredictable. Where from anywhere anything can happen with him, and he can put you away. I think that's the big difference that he brings for the box, and I think. Yeah, look, realistically speaking, it is a very, very, it's a very tightly contested position because, if you go into the World Cup, you're going to need a game breaker, somebody that can do something, out of nothing. And if we're being honest, you're looking at the two, more likely will be Kirtley, or, so he's more likely, so yeah.
Yeah, other wing is Colby, but for me, I would have liked to see Moody, but I mean, at the same time, you can't get mad. It just looks like he's going to be the one missing out.
Yeah.
But then the centers, Dialendi off form, but I guess in that respect, he's one of the guys that's been retained where a lot of other guys have been dropped. I don't know if they're trying to play him into form, but I mean, or if they just don't want to make too many changes, and it has to be that thing of we can't revamp the whole team.
Yeah, I think that, and also just to see a bit more of how him and Mani play together, because we saw how Mani and Estes, and they looked good. Yeah. They looked decent together, So I think maybe seeing that, and also because there's familiarity with the other member there, in that sense, because member. Remember test match, right? So people got their shot. So because he's in the group, he's going to get his shot, you see. So let's just hopefully, the centers go well in this game, because I think Argentina will be confident against Australia. They'll try to bring the tempo, they'll try to do something, but this is not a game the Boks should lose.
Yeah, and then the last position really up for discussion is the 13 role, where the man that was on a press run this week, they were giving him a soft landing. They knew that there would be much controversy, but Jesse Kriel is there. I'm hoping for a good performance. I have been a critic of Kriel, and I believe it's very, very warranted. But I mean, let's just hope for the best. They say, his defense, we don't hear anything about attack. Since when do we pick players on one side of the ball, defense or attack? And even rucking, he rucks. Okay, a 13 that rucks. Is that what we're looking for now in Test rugby? But your thoughts?
No, look, I think even in saying that, yes, you have been critical. I've also been critical as well, because why? We want to see more. Yes, okay, fine, it's good defensively, but what else? Tell us about ranking, but yes, he's had his moments. Let's not deny him his moments in the Springbok jersey. Yes, but like we've been saying, certainly I've been saying, in this World Cup in France, we're gonna need more, and he must bring more than what he's been bringing. I mean, think about it. We spoke about Estes and in the Australia test, and we said, a bit more. And you see, he's trying to take outside gaps. He's trying to put the foot. There was more. So now they're more experienced test, more capped guy.
60 caps. 60. I think this is the 60.
It's a lot. We need more. That's
also where I go with it, where you see people say like, you guys are slating Kriel, you're saying this about Kriel, he hasn't even touched the ball. He's touched the ball 60 games. We know what we're getting. We know who he is. We know when someone shows you who they are, you must say who they are.
Yeah. Like, I mean, all I'm gonna say, think about it when he came onto the scene, right? So, okay, granted, just playing fullback at the pause and whatever, but how he
exactly. That also proves my point, is that he burst onto the scene as a fullback and went to the World Cup to play center. Where do we do that? Which players do we do that for?
Yeah.
How do you play super rugby just playing 15 and then the World Cup we throw you to play 13? We're making excuses and we're making situations for this guy that we don't make for other players.
Yeah, And I mean, like at that time when he burst onto this, he was good. He had that expressive views, especially at super level. Let's not lie. That's what got him into the mix. It just hasn't. We just haven't seen enough of that or more of that. Like I say, he's had his moments, but we haven't seen more of consistently where we can say, good to know. Like with everybody immediately, if they just say right now, tomorrow, it's World Cup final, or Kriel, we're going to pick That's what's going to happen. You know,
and you don't hear
gonna
people say,
"Oh,
you don't hear people say, his attack is good. His attack is good. And they're making
his
defense,
all-round
they're
game is
making
good.
excuses for his defense. Exactly.
His
That's
all-round
what you
game is
must do.
good.
You mustn't make exceptions for this guy that you don't make for other players, and then wonder why people say things about him.
Yeah, just looking for something different.
Yeah,
a
please,
bit more.
please, I'm
Just a
begging
little
you.
bit more spice.
Yeah,
just some sauce.
hopefully we'll get that. Hopefully we'll
Please.
get that.
So that, because then that means it's good for the box. You know what I mean? And then it's good, So why can't we want high standards for the box? They must wait a minute, man. They must wait a minute.
Yeah, then obviously Philly is Philly. He's on form at the moment,
Yeah.
so there's nothing. It's just he got cooked against Argentina last time. You just don't want to see that again.
Yes.
So moving on to the bench, we've broken away from what is the 6-2 split. We're now 5-3. I mean, I don't see it as a sign of defeat or something that we'll move away from in the future. I think going into the World Cup, we're still going to have a 6-2 split anyway. I think this may be a function of maybe wanting to give a few more guys a run, and also I don't know. I just think maybe they're not trying to shake things up and trying to keep it a bit more stable. They don't want to, as you say, it's also a must-win game. So they need some guys there. They need some guys there. We don't want anything to go wrong here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trev is back. It's good to see him back.
Yeah, good to see.
RG, like I said, Kwacha, it's good to see him on the bench. Hopefully he'll give that impact. He won't take 60 minutes to get going. And then Willem Sawe should be covering fullback, covering center, covering fly half.
Yeah, I think I don't mind that. Don't mind him as a utility, because if you had to, let's look at it. Okay, between him and Kane, and let's say tomorrow World Cup final, and you're looking at the team, you'd more likely go with Willems because more of match XP, and he can cover the 15, 12, and 10 channel bit. And like, yeah, I mean, Bongi, for me, the Bongi decision, like, I see it more as trying to get it back into momentum, but but at the same time, it's like, hey, what does that mean about Dweba? Or we're gonna see him a bit later in warm-ups. We don't, but yeah, Kwacha, I like him there. I think he off the bench, he's generally good, and also against Argentina, I think, the way that they like to play breakdown, maybe he'll have opportunities. And then you see is there as well, and we know is there, he's covering wing, he's covering center, and he's covering
both centers and wing. Yeah.
So I think all around, like we say, it's a must win, but I think you can't really complain, And I think
can't complain.
Yeah, that's why I say this is one that they shouldn't lose, and want to just see more, from certain guys.
Really can't complain. It would have been nice to see Esterhuizen, it would have been nice to see Moody, it would have been nice to see Hendricks, but I suppose we still got some more games. So this is one way I think the general consensus from Bok fans is that it's a good lineup.
It is a good lineup, but hey, still, it's still test match rugby at the end of the day. And, Argentina, I think they'll come and they'll try and shut Joburg up. They'll try. They are going to try.
Okay. They're not going to stretch us in the same way that New Zealand did. New Zealand, they really picked us apart, and they picked us apart in a way that exposed our defensive pattern and our defensive flaws, especially through kicking. I don't think we're going to see the same thing from Argentina in that respect. They're going to be more confrontational. There's going to be more pressure defensively. It's going to be that kind of a thing. And I think we can front up enough. And I think more importantly, we have enough imagination with Mani at 10 that we're going to be able to break that defense. I don't think, even looking at both games, you look at New Zealand when they played Argentina, and you look at Australia when they played Argentina. I don't think we're in danger.
I don't think we're in danger, but I do think that they will try the tactical kicking game, to see if they can emulate, what New Zealand did to us. I think they'll try it. But and also I think it also, in saying that, it also why Colby and Leroux are getting, the second test in a row, in that sense, in my view, is so that they can just sort of man the backfield properly, and command the skies. I think that's also possibly part of the thinking there, with that. So yeah, they'll come at us, man, but they won't. I don't think it'll be much. I don't think it'll be much, but they'll try, because Cheka is gonna try things in terms of the coach that he is,
Yeah, they might get the better of us, when we have to go to Argentina. But for now, I'm not seeing it in any doubt, and I think we've also put in place some contingencies, especially with that bench, to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Any score predictions? I'm from what I'm hearing, it's a win. For me, it's a win.
Look, it's a win, but 15 points. I'll say 15 points. You guys will say 15.
Yeah, I'll give them a bit 10. I'll give them 10. I'll give them a bit of it. There'll be more in it than there were versus New Zealand, but not as much as Australia.
Yeah.
Only other news of the week: Hendricks supposedly going to the Sharks. So I'm guessing you're happy about that.
Not really. Not
Why
really,
not?
Because I think he could have. Why not continue your development there at the Lions? Clearly they backed him as the number one guy. Unless maybe that's him communicating indirectly that he doesn't believe in the coaching staff, that they can get him to where he wants to be. Maybe as a player, to possibly, but. You've got Masuku in there, you've got Kurt Bosch, who at one stage also looked like he was about to go, then he reignited his form. So then you've got Buta, so they must be careful of not having now doing too much now, and especially in one position, because you've also got, I think, is the Lionel Crenier as well, but I think he should be maybe going home
those ones,
now.
I think those ones, they're on the move.
Yeah, you see, so yeah, it's okay if he goes, but I'm not a big fan, I and especially just in general for in terms of South African rugby, right? You'd want a strong Lions team as well, and it's not like he had been playing badly in the URC for the Lions, it's just the Lions
just
injury, yes, but also I think it's also if he doesn't have the complete faith within the environment, I think if your 10 doesn't, then
these guys are they're balling trying to find a way out. They're balling trying to find a way out of the ghetto. That's all the Lions is these days. But I guess it is what it is. Any closing remarks?
No, the box got to do it. Shout out to Kanye at Ticket Pro. Thank you. So yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they do enjoy the game. Dummy Switch Pod. Thanks for watching.